Okay, we'll start with OI scan. Someone had asked me about scanning intraday stocks for basically for intraday trading. So futures OI scan, this will start updating. I mean, this particular section will take time to update. So, but the first thing that you will see here will be the today section that will update immediately, because this data pertains to current data compared to the previous day's closing data. So this will start updating immediately. And this last 15 minutes, what has happened, this section gives you that. So this will start updating at 9:30 onwards. And this will start updating 9:45 onwards, and this will start updating 10:15 onwards. Basically, 15 minutes data has to get built first before this will show up, and so on. So for scanning, you can immediately use this when the first OI data updates at 9:18. So this will immediately come up. So the basic thing that you can do is you can look at the market, and you can any kind of basic analysis you can do to decide whether the market is up or down. So basically, if the market gaps up, and you can either look at the positive scripts in this section, or you might look at, because these days what is happening is if market gaps up, then basically it starts to go down actually, and the other way around. So you can look at the bearish ones if you want to. But basically the idea is try to determine the direction of the market, and then in that direction, how scripts are positioned here based on OI and price change. Then you can filter those based on that. So basically the example would be price change. Look at maybe say more than 1%. So you will get a, so some significant change has to be there for today. So 1% is the most basic thing. If you want to be more, firm about it, you can go for more than 2% or 3%. The list will obviously get short. Then you can also scan based on OI change percent, because OI change has to be significant for this to be really meaningful. So this could be the barest minimum would be more than 3%. Many people prefer more than 5%. So you can change this based on this. But this will quickly give you a short list. And of course, if the market has been bearish, then probably you'll get a longer list on the bearish side. So let me check this. And this is the short buildup. So market was negative on Friday. So this list is something that is longer. So just a minute. This is, let me check. This is less than -1. So market was obviously negative on Friday. So you get, this is the list that and this you can keep the same as more than 3%, because it is negative or positive. This is going to be, we want OI change to be more. So because that means it is in supporting this particular move. So you can shortlist this way. If you want to filter down, then increase this to 5%. So you'll get, the list becomes shorter. And then you can use this these scripts and take a look at the charts and see whether you want to go short on these. So this is one way of quick filtering of scripts. And later, once this last 60 minutes is done, it would be useful if you can filter even based on this. Say maybe there is a buildup, you can select short buildup, and in the direction of this, whatever direction this is saying, then you can even the 60 minutes you can filter in this, then the list will become really short. And this means that even the last 60 minutes is really bearish. So then this gives you more confidence in the analysis. So you can look at these scripts, the chart of these scripts, and then try and find a low risk entry point towards the downside. So this is what you can do for intraday. The other thing also is volume changes, but this will come up a little bit later once the market is like it has traded for a while, for about half an hour, 45 minutes, maybe 1 hour. Then you can check volume change. What is happening? The volume change. If significant volume is there, then something is happening with those scripts. I mean, you will not see more than 100% or so. You'll see it only for very few stocks if there's some really significant move in the market. But you will see that the first hour itself, if this goes positive, it means that the volume is more than previous day's volume. So this itself is significant because today itself, the volume in the first hour itself is more than previous day's whole full day's trading volume. So it is significant. So now once this is significant, then you have to see whether this price change is positive or negative, and then you can probably check the charts and try to trade in that direction. So by that I mean is here, if this is a huge volume and it is positive, then this means that this stock is really bullish. And whereas these stocks are bearish because it's negative and there's big volume more than. So this and first hour, when you see, you just need to make sure that this is just positive. So that is what we want. It just means, as I said, more than previous day's volume. That itself is a good indication for first hour. Once the day is over, I mean, this will give you a quick idea of what kind of volume has come into the market and which side the volume has gone into. So this will, what happens is, if you will see many times that market has moved onto one side, but there is not a significant volume here. You have to see lots of scripts more than 100%. You will hardly see, maybe sometimes you will only see 1 or 2 scripts which are more than 100%, and the others are less than 100%. So then that means that there is not significant volume support to the move that is happening in the market today. So that will give you some idea of the kind of support the today's move in the market has. Just okay. So now there's another tool, Daywise Price and OI, which we have significantly modified, and we have added another layer on top of this. This is actually for a script. You can see how the price, OI, volume, and all that build up and all that has changed over the last few days since the start of this expiry. Since the start of expiry, how it has changed. So this will give you an idea of the trend, especially the last 5-day build-up. So this is good for positional trading. So, but this is only for a single symbol. So what we have done is we have added this recently, and we have given it for testing. We'll be moving it to this menu very soon. And this also we have changed a little bit and have given this over here. So this these two are linked. So you can go here and then you will be able to quickly select stocks for because this gives the same information as this Daywise, but it will give for all the stocks for a particular day. So now this is basically the latest day. If you want to drill down, then you can click on a stock and then it will go to this this particular report that you were looking at, where it will give you for this particular stock the whole series data. This now, if the market is looking like it is bullish and you want to just do swing trading on the bullish side, then what you can do is sort this and see, you will be able to see bullish stocks here. So all these stocks which are bullish here and also maybe bullish for the current day. This is current day and this is last 5 days build-up. So last 5 days long build-up will mean that the price change and OI change for the last 5 days has been overall bullish. So that's the reason why this is a long build-up. So you can take a look at this. I mean, even if this is a short build-up, it just means that there is a pullback in the overall bullish trend. The trend is bullish, but there is some pullback here and some pullback here also. So you can still don't eliminate these scripts. Maybe you can have a low risk entry point over here, even if this is in long unwinding. Long unwinding just means that there's a pullback in the overall bullish trend that is going on over here. So suppose you select a script here, and then you can click here and drill down, and then check here. Make sure if you're looking at a stock script, your combined OI is selected. So otherwise, what is going to happen is the OI for stocks will shift to the next month by the third week itself, week before expiry. So this will completely distort this. So since if you need a consistent view, make sure combined OI is selected. So whatever OI is selected here, and all stats that you see here are based on the combined OI of 3 monthly options. So these, whatever latest 3 monthly options that are there. So it will be a combined view of all that. So you'll get a lot more confidence in whatever view is going on. Here, this is Exide seems to be bullish for the last few days. And here, long buildup and alternating long unwinding here just means that small pullbacks are there within the uptrend that is going on. Even this 1 day of a short buildup is not an indication that that it is going to be bearish. Unless this changes, you can think of all these little bearish ones, bearish days as pullbacks within the context of a bullish move that is going on, overall bullish move that is going on. So this would be a good thing. And let me just check the chart also.
Hey, Shrikant.
Yeah.
On the previous screen, the new version that you're including, I understand it's already under beta, but is it possible to include the sector also on that view? Just like you have it under the future section for now?
Yes, I'll get it added. No problem.
Yeah, it'll be easier to then filter the new views just by the sector.
Yes, absolutely. Sure.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. So Exide futures. Yeah, so this is what Exide has been, as you see, quite bullish. You can even take a little bit longer term view and just to see. Yeah, it has been bullish, and whatever these days that you see where it has gone down, this just indicates that. Okay, where was that? Yeah, it just indicates all these bullish days, the bearish days are there in between long unwinding and short buildup. These are just pullbacks. So this is what this is indicating. This 9th, 11th, 16th. So this is 9th, this is 11th, 16th. All these are just pullbacks. This is what this indicates. So this will give you a good idea. So look at whichever direction the overall market is going. So first, start with overall market direction, long-term market direction that is going on, or rather, I would say intermediate term. We are talking about futures and options. So we'll assume that we are talking about trends lasting, say, a few weeks to a month or so. So intermediate uptrend is going on for the last couple of weeks. Then you can go and check this for that particular stock, and if Nifty is overall going up, then sort it and focus on bullish stocks only, and then and just drill down, just check whether this is confirmed. Kindly mute. जो भी है mute कर लीजिए please. Yeah, thanks. Okay, so you can once the last few days are bullish, then you can look for entry points on a daily time frame, and then, or you can drill down to say 15 minutes or hour or 75 minutes time frame and take entries. So this would be about positional selection of scripts. Any doubt anyone has?
Shrikant, on this one, when you say that you select the combined OI, which is, including the last 3 months, sorry, the current 3 months, I think, for the expiry, right? So now let's say we are in the last week of November expiry. So a
Yeah.
lot of rollover will be happening here. So if in this case, do we want to select the next expiry, like within the expiry, this drop down menu, or to start looking at, or like how do we start seeing that people are actually exiting the position, and then whether they are still rolling over to the bullish position? How do you infer that data point from here?
No, this for stocks, what you can do is, if you, as long as even until this expiry happens, as long as you have this selected, see, most of the OI is for stocks is in monthly, and then last week it moves to the second month. So these two, current and the next month, will cover almost 90-95% of the OI. So you are fine with even having this until the last day of this expiry. But yes, maybe the last 2 or 3 days, if you want to move, you can move to this. But until that time, you can just keep it this way. Just select the current expiry, you're fine. I guess only the last 1 or 2 days, if you want to move, you can move. But otherwise, this will definitely, even if it is this way on the last day of expiry, 24th November, it will still show you the most of the 90-95% of the OI, because February is not going to still come into the picture too much. So it should be fine. It should be
And
fine.
Ankit, I think the rollover section will tell us maybe in the last 2 or 3 days, right?
Definitely, yeah.
If the number
can be
spikes up,
monitored, yes.
if the number suddenly spikes up and you compare it to the historical data, you know it's being rolled over.
Yeah, I mean, that is where my question is. For example, even if you go to the excite option, excite scenario only, which we were just looking at.
Okay, just a minute. Let me just go to the previous expiries. We are looking at 24th October here. So that 3 days before October expiry. So this will significantly spike up. After this, probably you can move. Even this, maybe, even if we see next day. See, rollover. Now this has gone a lot more higher. So
Shri, if you don't change it for a minute on the same screen, maybe it'll answer Ankit's question. Can you search for Exide's OI over here?
Let me just scroll down. Excite 74.
And there was short covering. So probably shorts were getting covered because it was okay.
Because of the health content,
that was in October, right? October ending. So it was here. Yeah, shorts were getting covered because the trend was just starting over here. This uptrend was just starting. So it was short covering going on. This is for, yeah. But combined OI, this will give, I mean,
exactly my point. So during October end, people were actually covering their shorts and were rolling over to actually making the long positions. So how do we try to infer that change which is happening? Let's say because during the expiry, when the expiry will be happening, a lot of for example, even now, if you look at the current positioning of the Excite.
No, see, this is 27th October. Even before that happened, actually, if you see, it went bullish over here on 18th, 19th. So after that, it was, and since combined OI is selected, this is actually showing the correct picture. Actually, combined OI is removed, then it will show you short curve. That's why I said, if you have combined OI,
no, I'm fine with combined OI. What I'm saying is towards the end of the expiry, if for example, if now if you select the December expiry.
Now December expiry, okay.
And with the combined OI. So will this show like if there is any change in positioning happening? Let's say people are actually started people have actually started to book the longs at these levels. And then maybe start building up shorts, or maybe this may go into sideways. So
no,
if
you will probably, instead of December, you'll have to uncheck combined OI and only do this. Only here, then you will know if this starts to consistently show unwinding. I mean, not this way, but continuous 4-5 days of unwinding, and then this also will switch over to long unwinding. Only then you will get a indication.
Okay.
Yeah. So you will have to then uncheck combined OI and check this.
Okay. So we uncheck the combined OI and then look at the daily buildup for that particular expiry.
Yeah, but make sure, because once you go into the final week, then that this will give you false data, because actual rolling over will start. So if this really starts to spike up, the rollover starts to spike up significantly, then you can't use this anymore. Then you will have to, then you can probably, as you said, but then it'll be difficult then, because even if you switch over to December, then this will show you that the rollover is happening, and artificially it will show you that the OI is getting built up. Whichever side it is, it will get built up.
Yeah, so if you look at this data now, so in December it is showing 100% increase as a 5-day OI change.
Exactly.
So it's a very huge long build up, but that's not the real picture, because it's most of the rollover which is happening, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So you can at least until the last week, you can definitely uncheck this and keep an eye on that. Otherwise, then that.
Sir, I think last 5 days you can add both months OA builder side by side. You prepare like
that layout. We'll have to, it'll have to be done manually, or we'll have to do something over here. But yeah, that'll get a
last for 3 days it has to be activated. The remaining days it should be disabled.
Okay. Let me see. Let me think about it. But yeah.
Okay. Shrikant, sir.
Yeah.
Can look at futures OI scan for a minute. So here,
yeah.
So here, what you're saying is when we look at the end of the day, it's the last 60 minutes, right? So let's say 2:15 to 3:15 data, right?
No. This, Currently, it is showing that way. Yes, but
so
tomorrow
morning.
Historic. Yeah, this is the last 60 minutes. Yes.
Right. So if
15 to 3:15.
Got it. So if you go to historic data, and if I want to check what happened exactly at 10:15, let's say, to do some back testing, so that is not possible right now, right?
No, that is not possible. That is not possible.
Any way we can incorporate that, sir? Because that will help us actually start doing some back testing as well.
Yeah, we plan to do that for option chain, but not immediately. There's still some issue there. So we'll try and add it in the option chain. We might. So at least as of now, it is not. You can try and go to total PEC OI and check. Probably there you might get some idea, or futures OI breakup. If you want to check it for futures, futures OI breakup, you can probably go and check what is happening here, because this will show you for the whole day, basically, or at least even for during the day, what has happened, how much OI has changed. You can check here. And this probably you can do that. We might add it later in options, so you can option chain. Then you should be able to navigate throughout the day, but that is still to be done.
Yeah, that will be really helpful. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, sure.
And Shrikant, this because you already have this, future OI data. So within the FNO charts, can we have that sort of an indicator where it can be, I think that it is there, but I remember in one of the previous discussion that it was not working properly. So if we select the combined OI or like,
no, it doesn't work for options. It works for futures.
Okay.
See this is a combined.
Yeah, this one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So is it working now? Because I remember in one of the discussion, it had some issues.
No, the only issue was with options. For futures, it will work fine, no problem. For futures,
can we make it this instead of line? Can we make it in a bar format in the downside panel?
Yeah, sure. You should be able to do that. I think. 1 minute, let me check. Is there? You can. I don't know how clear it is going to be, but it is there. It will be this way.
Perfect. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Sir, one thing, sir, are you getting the 1 minute stamp data with bid price and ask price, or only with LTP, sir?
We get bid and ask also. That's why it is available
so
here.
Then we need one indicator, buy quantity and sell quantity as a line chart below.
No, that
chart.
Your buy and okay. You mean
buy
that
orders
is-
executed. That means
I think that's probably a part of the order flow, right? When you get a tick
yeah,
by
yeah.
tick.
So that we
yes,
don't have
yes,
that
yes.
feed actually. We
So
don't have that.
actually, market is nothing but how you visualizing your views that will give the clear picture instead of magic numbers. So visualization is most important. That's why it is better to give the option that buy quantity and sell quantity.
Yeah, that is
So
a separate feed. We'll have to get that feed. So we have not got it. That is quite expensive again.
okay, sir. Okay, sir.
So yeah.
Yeah, I think there's another platform that provides that information.
Yes, yes. Many platforms provide that. I think QuantSap is one, and there are many more.
Go charting also provides it. Yeah,
Yes,
you're right.
yes. Okay. Okay. Any questions about Daywise, or you can move to something else? Let me check if any questions have been posted in the chat, and I'll just go.
There was a question on the IV skew. Somebody said, please discuss IV skew.
Okay, let me just please add option to see why change for multiple CP strikes combined in percentage terms. Okay. Let's see why change or multiple. Okay. An option to select as in the money or team. Okay. Yeah, this has been. Yes. Let me just quickly copy this into a. I'm just noting it down. So let me just quickly. I'll discuss this with my team. Yeah, IV skew. I'll just tell you something about it. I am we are working on a tool for IV skew, because current IV skew that is there is limited because it doesn't give you too much information. Let me quickly tell you that. Okay. See, the IV skew that is there over here. This has limited use. This is just giving you a snapshot data of what is happening currently. What is useful is there are two things. I mean, how skew has changed from yesterday to today. That is one. And the second thing is, in the last, say, 5 days, 10 days or so, how the skew has changed. I mean, what happens is, let me talk about that a little bit more. 1 minute. I might have to share that screen. Let me stop this and let me share something that I was working on. Where is that? Okay. Can you see a spreadsheet?
Yeah, we can see.
Okay, just a minute. See, this is some data that we are actually, I'm experimenting with it, and based on this, we'll be coming up with a tool. Basically, this is a call IV and put IV at 25 delta, and this is the at the money IVs. So these are there. We have these in our database, and IV skew is computed over here. This is what we are going to add one indicator. So this is now over the last few days how the skew has changed. So generally, what is going to happen is most of the time the skew is going to move between just about 20%. At the most, very rare cases, it will go to 25%. And this, when we say this percentage is how much percent the put IV is above the at the money IV. And also this refers to 1 minute. This is IV. Okay, just a minute. This is, yeah, basically it's this way. This put IV skew, put IV difference, or rather put IV of 25 delta versus call. This difference as a percentage to the at the money IV. This is what we are plotting here. This changes between 25% and 10%, or rather 20%. Most of the time, little about 20% to little below 10%. So whenever it goes oversold like this, one can expect a shoot up in prices, and whenever it is really high, prices will move down. So I've been tracking this for the last couple of months, and based on this, we are going to have an indicator. So this will really be a lot more useful because this will directly allow you to take positions in the market. At the moment, because we have got many complaints that what we are giving data but no actionable information, and so this is our attempt at giving something really actionable. So this will, once we give you this skew that is currently going on, and then we'll also give this particular chart, this will tell you how the volatility skew is placed. So based on that, you can take various different positions, directional positions, or this will tell you when the put side skew is really high. So maybe you want to sell puts probably, or buy calls versus, because puts are really expensive, calls are slightly cheaper, or based on that some kind of relation has to be made, because this just gives you the relation between put and call skew basically. So we'll give you more information. So I avoid that discussing too much about skew when people ask, because what we have given is just a snapshot of the current skew at this particular time, and that may not be too useful. So what is going to be useful is something like this, where you can see over the last few days how the skew has changed, or even today how the skew has changed, and then based on that you'll be able to take positions. Because if you
is
see,
it proprietary indicator, sir?
nothing like that. I mean, this is, yeah, this what we are going to do is will be something that I am coming up with. So, but I mean, this concept is nothing. I mean, it's out there everywhere. So you can, various option textbooks that are there, option theory textbooks will talk about this. I mean, there's nothing.
Actually, my intention is, if it is proprietary, no need to explain. Just you once implement, just you explain.
Sure. Yeah, this is definitely not proprietary actually. So, and this is common knowledge. But yeah, what we'll do is something better than what is shown here. So it will be a lot more actionable. So at that point, that will probably, I will not discuss too much about that, because this is something very basic what I'm showing here. So,
Okay,
but what I'll finally do is going to be a little bit one level higher than this. So that will, I'll just not discuss too much on that. So anyway, let me go back to the screen and then let me show. Yeah. So this is now, if we want to discuss this in terms of what I had shown, how steep this curve is. How steep this curve is basically that tells you which side the skew is there. So currently it's on the put side. This market is going down. This is generally higher. What will happen is sometimes it will just go flat this way. If you see generally, say, let me check December skew. I think it'll be flatter. Yeah, December skew is flatter. So there are multiple things here that one can do. Once this can go flat, once only this the current week that you are looking at, weekly expiry skew, if it goes flat, then you can take positions based on that. Or even if it is too steep like this, whether the line is starting from here and then going this way, this is called a steep skew. If it's steep skew, then also you can take positions whether it has become flat. Flat means like this, what you're looking at, this is now flat. But monthly skew is generally flat compared to the near expiry that is there. So, but positions can be taken based on the steepness. The other thing is the relation of current week skew versus the monthly skew. That also is something that can be traded. So when this becomes really large, then you can take positions based on that, which will have relatively low risk, because then the skew is in your advantage. You have the advantage of that, a little bit slight advantage based on that. So these different strategies are going to be there. So once we come up with that, so you'll have numbers. But until that time, the main thing using this chart, you can monitor is how steep this skew is. So you can probably go back and look at historical, and then you can see that Sometimes it becomes really flat this way. And sometimes whenever there is an event, like if you go back and look at budget day, you'll see that it'll be this way, like from here to here. So it'll be too steep on both the sides. So there is a trade there that you can probably short and buy lower, higher IV options. You can short and then you can buy lower IV options, like, or maybe you can short the current month and buy the next month, same strike price. So the difference, because the difference in the current week versus next week, or current week versus monthly options, the IV difference will become really large whenever there is a near-term event like a budget or for stocks earnings. So lots of things are there you can do with that. But we'll definitely come up and we'll add that chart also, and those numbers, data tables, and we'll clearly give you those numbers. So, I mean, what are the extremes to be used? I mean, last few months, what have been the extremes, and currently where we are placed, how the IV skew is placed. So once you have those numbers, you'll get some good idea, and then better strategies can be formed. We'll try and do that soon. We'll try and add. We're already working on that, so hopefully the next couple of weeks we'll be able to add. That was about skew. Let me see what other questions are there. Sector, yeah, sector. I've already said sector. I will be adding there.
Sir, can you please explain how important that PCR is in deciding about the taking of trade or not? Because PCR is there in almost all the.
Yeah, PCR. You see, PCR. Okay, let me go here. PCR will give you direction of the market reliably. It is based on obviously the put and call OI. So whichever direction, now if put OI is increasing, if put OI is increasing, then the PCR will go up. This is put to call ratio. So, and if PCR is going down, it means that either the puts are unwinding or the call side is increasing, because that is the only reason why the put call ratio can go down. So simple thing is to check this, and it will immediately tell you. Temporarily, let me just hide this. So this will quickly tell you where the market is going. Now, another clear indication this will give you is whenever this flattens, and this is something we have done on purpose. We have the PCR value here is, if you see, is only up to 2 decimals. If we give 4 decimals, then it will be all up and down. So what we have done is we have rounded this off so as to let you to identify these areas of consolidation. This means that neither the put side or call side is changing much. If you see, or the OI is changing much. If you see, this has gone flat and this line also has gone flat. So this just means that the relative difference between these two values is not increasing. That's the reason why PCR is flat. So when PCR goes flat, the price generally goes flat. So that is what this tells you, that this will either get resolved to the downside or upside. Here, briefly, it got resolved to the downside here as PCR went down. And before that, price broke down actually. Price broke down before that. But this flat areas are an indication that you have to either you expect a breakout or a breakdown. Here it did not even break above VWAP, so this was clearly down and it just continued down. So here you can anticipate some moves here. Either if it breaks above VWAP, then you can look for maybe probably you want to sell puts or buy calls or whatever. Or by default, once this goes flat and it has not yet gone above VWAP, you will assume that it is going to break below and continue the trend here. So until it clearly gives you upside breakdown, then this would generally be resolved in the direction of the prior trend. This is what I generally assume. Once again, it goes flat here and then it breaks above VWAP here. So this, you can flat areas are one, and the direction of PCR itself is the other one. These two things need to be monitored here, and this tells you reliably which side it is. You get some clear idea, basically clear-cut idea based on this.
From this chart, I think mostly the price, more or less, it follows the trend of the PCR.
Generally, it happens. Sometimes it does not happen. That also is there. And also, this is all strikes. So you get a lot more fine tuning can be done if you're looking at near ATM strikes. So you have to be a little bit, this gets a little bit tricky, because if it, whether you select auto adjust or not, it all depends on that. And then because things change dynamically. So based on this, you'll have to experiment a little bit, because then based on this, you can get slightly earlier indications. All strikes will give you overall information, and this can be sometimes slightly delayed. Usually it will give you a clear-cut picture, but sometimes it can get delayed. So you can experiment with near-term strikes, near ATM strikes, and then based on that, you can see. Some fine-tuning definitely can be done using these.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Shri, I have a cosmetic change request, or rather a question.
Yeah.
Are you planning to come up with dark theme anytime?
As I said, the start of the webinar, somebody had asked me.
Sorry, I wasn't there. Sorry.
Okay, so to add dark theme, we will have to change the whole website itself, because it was not built in from the beginning. And so we have plans. We have plans to do that. Our developers are already planning on a full redesign. So at that point, we'll be adding it. Until that time, you can use Dark Reader extension in Google Chrome. It gives you a decent theme option.
Perfect. Thanks, Shri.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, this is okay. Any specific tool questions? Any other tool questions?
Yeah, Shri, going back again to that futures only, day-wise price and Y details. So in the 5-day, this if you just go to that, not this one, but the not the beta one, but the original one.
Okay.
Yeah. If you select, let's say any script, let's say for example PVR, you just select it. So if when we get this signal change, okay, for example, on 3rd of November, until 3rd of November, it was a long build up, then it was still a bullish signal, which was short covering until 11th of November. Now, suddenly there was a signal change, which was from short covering, it was to long unwinding. And after that, we have seen a downtrend in it. From 1829, it has gone down till 1736. So is this something, is this data point you can use as an actionable item, or, can produce some sort of a different report, or maybe, which can give like which scripts are showing a signal change based on this data, so that we don't have to go through each and every script, like using this tool to find out trading opportunity, because otherwise, I have to, let's say, go through 150, 200 odd scripts on a daily basis using these tools to find where I can find a reversal or a kind of a trading opportunity.
Okay.
If this is something you can, note down, maybe basically a signal change between bullish to bearish. So long build up and short covering will be, I think, a same signal. And then if there is any change from here to here, mainly in the 5-day, so that if that is occurring, then we can then go into that script and then monitor that data for maybe next 2 days.
Sure, I have noted this.
Actually, you can assign any numbers. For example, long build up 1 and short build up -1 and long unwinding -1, like that. So whenever the value greater than 0 or less than 0, just you pop out the those scripts. That's all.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, the point is we have to still scan through all these once again, but because this report is already there. So based on this report, wherever the signal is changing, if there is a separate, report or a separate tool which is available, where we can see a signal change which is happening. So the script which is turning from, let's say, bullish to bearish, or there is
Yeah.
a bearish to bullish signal which is appearing, then we
Actually,
can,
actually, there are so many reference points. Build up is there, 5-day build up is there. So
No, I think
No,
what
based
Ankit is
on
trying
no,
to say,
I've got the
if, yeah,
idea. I've noted it. So based on we'll work something out based on this. I got the idea.
and Shrikant, on the same note, when you do this, right, on the beta, since you're doing it like a section wherein you can search for a script, right? So maybe another column with the trend change, and you can just filter it basis the trend change, and it will show you all the scripts in one go, rather
Yeah.
than you scanning one by one.
Sure. Okay.
please reference 1-day previous day, 1-day previous day and current day.
Yeah, got it. Yes. Yes, got it. Okay. Okay. Any other question? Let me go to the chat. Let me answer a few questions and then we can continue.
श्रीकांत सर,
Yeah.
जैसे कि हमने देखा एक्साइट का देखा, कोई स्क्रिप्ट जैसा हो गया, अभी शॉर्ट बिल्डअप हो रहा हो, ऐसा कोई है क्या? जैसे कि टाटा केमिकल है सर।
हाँ रहेगा ना शॉर्ट बिल्डअप। 1 मिनट यहाँ पे सॉर्ट कर लेंगे इसको, तो शॉर्ट बिल्डअप का आ जाएगा। ये पूरा शॉर्ट बिल्डअप में है अभी, ये देख सकते हैं। पोलो टायर देखेंगे क्या? 1 मिनट, अपोलो टायर देखेंगे। 1 मिनट। अब ये जो है शॉर्ट बिल्डअप में है, पूरा डाउन ट्रेंड में है।
कंबाइन ओआई के साथ ना सर?
हाँ, कंबाइंड ओआई के साथ। वहाँ भी, इसमें भी कंबाइंड ओआई पे था यहाँ पे, राइट। यहाँ पे कंबाइंड ओआई है, तो अब ऐसे भी सॉर्ट करके देख सकते हैं।
Shri, just one question on this one. Sorry, I didn't mean to hijack. If you stay on this screen, the 5-day buildup, how do you calculate the short buildup? Does it come to you in the feed, or do you do some sort of calculation behind the scenes?
No, this is a very simple calculation. This is 5-day percentage price change. That is basically last 5 days. Now, if we say this, we take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this change, this price change,
Cumulative 5 days.
Yeah, cumulative in this. No, it'll basically this the difference between this price and this price.
For reference, previous 5th day. Okay.
Yeah, 5th day, exactly.
N-5.
Yeah, versus now the OI change also similarly. OI change also same. So that so that we have given over here. That we have given over here already. 5-day price change, 5-day OI change.
so eventually last 5 day, Amish, basically the price has gone down and OI is increased.
Exactly.
Okay. So that is showing a short buildup.
Yeah.
That is what is being represented. So if you look at the price, the 7th of November, it was 302, but on 14th it is 287. But at the same time, the OI was, I think, 4,000 and it has gone to 9,000 something. That's what it is being represented.
Yeah, no, so I understood. Thanks, Ankit. My question was more around the fact that build-up is every individual day. And I was trying to correlate the build-up and the 5-day build-up. So if there was a long build-up on the 15th, how come it is still? So now it makes sense because they're doing it by the price and the OI. Okay.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Thanks, Ankit.
आपका
low is act as support.
Somebody had asked a question. Question किसने पूछा था? Clear है? Somebody had asked me a question about this. So, anyways.
पूछ रहे थे कोई शॉर्ट बिल्डअप का स्क्रिप्ट है क्या टाटा के?
हाँ, आपने पूछा तो ये क्लियर है, ये समझ गया आपको आइडिया आ गया इससे। तो यहाँ आप ये पूरे शॉर्ट बिल्डअप वाले 5-day बिल्डअप वाले देख लीजिए सॉर्ट करके। तो ये सारे 5-day शॉर्ट बिल्डअप वाले हैं। तो अब ये पूरे बेरिश रहेंगे करंटली, ऐसा। ठीक है।
And Shri, just one question again. This can't immediately change to a long build-up the next day, no?
No, it can't. No. Because this is a 5 days, so some consistent market action has to be there to the reverse side. Only then the signal will change. Otherwise, it will remain.
So the only change that I could anticipate is, let's say in the morning, some news comes up and the stock opens upper circuit or 5% up, and suddenly there'll be an uptick and your data will change and then you will show a long build-up.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Got it. Okay, makes sense.
Click check 9 problem.
Hello.
Yeah. हाँ बोलिए।
जी सर, अब बैंक निफ्टी के अंदर आफ्टर 315 जो लॉन्ग बिल्डअप शॉर्ट बिल्डअप होता है उसके से BTST का ट्रेड ले सकते हैं?
नहीं नहीं, मुझे ये कई लोगों ने पूछा है इसके बारे में। एक एक मिनट, मुझे बताने दीजिए प्रॉब्लम क्या है इसमें, बता। अब ये जो आप समझिए, आप ये देख रहे हैं एट प्रेजेंट, ये जो समझिए
क्योंकि बहुत सारे ट्रेडर लेते हैं सर इस पे BTST को देख के।
हाँ, कभी कभी चल जाता है। प्रॉब्लम ऐसा है कि ये जो 330 का जो आप ये जो डेटा आपको दिख रहा है यहाँ पे,
हाँ,
तो ये क्या है, इसमें लास्ट 3 मिनट्स का डेटा नहीं है इसमें।
ओके,
ये 330 रुक जाता है, ये अपडेट होना रुक जाता है, ये 330 इसके बाद अपडेट
ओके,
नहीं होता है। तो लास्ट में जब EOD का अपडेट आता है तब ये डेटा बहुत ही अलग हो सकता है। कई बार होता नहीं है, लेकिन कभी कभी कोई कोई मुझे पूछ रहा था, यहाँ टेलीग्राम पे पूछ रहा था कि बैंक निफ्टी का इस बार का डेटा बहुत बहुत अलग है। जो यहाँ पे 330 को जो एंड हुआ और उसके बाद ये जो टोटल OI चेंज का डिफरेंस है वो बहुत ज़्यादा है। तो ये ऐसा कभी कभी हो जाता है। तो आप ये अगर देखेंगे कि यहाँ पे पूरा यहाँ पे लॉन्ग बिल्डअप है, शॉर्ट कवरिंग, लॉन्ग बिल्डअप ओवरऑल ग्रीन है, और आप अगर बुलिश का लेंगे, मगर कभी कभी ऐसा होता है कि ऑपोजिट भी हो सकता है। तो
ओके सर।
जी, और
से भी
कोई
जो 1530 वाला अपडेट है, मतलब वो एग्जैक्टली आपका साइट पे 1530 पे विजिबल होगा ना, मतलब 1529 पे तो नहीं होगा?
नहीं नहीं, 330 के बाद ही ये कंप्लीट हो जाएगा, तब तक ये अपडेट होता रहेगा। अभी आप 15 मिनट का है ये, तो यहाँ पे अपडेट होता रहेगा ये, लेकिन कंप्लीट 330 के बाद ही होगा। 330 को
हाँ,
कंप्लीट हो
तो
जाएगा।
तो जब तक आपका वो डेटा फीड आएगा तब तक मार्केट मतलब BTST लेने के लिए बंद भी हो जाएगा, मतलब दैट इज,
हाँ,
मतलब बेस्ड ऑन
एग्जैक्टली,
दिस डेटा ये थोड़ा रिस्की है,
करेक्ट
isn't
करेक्ट।
it?
एंड ऑल्सो 330 को भी जो आएगा वो पूरा नहीं रहेगा।
वो
हाँ हाँ,
327 का है।
वो
दैट
330
आई
के बाद
अंडरस्टूड,
एक्चुअली एंड ऑफ डे में अपडेट होता है।
दैट आई अंडरस्टूड। वो आपको जब हाफ
हाँ
कॉपी का डेटा मिलता है तब आप लोग
हाँ,
अपडेट करते हैं। आई हैड आस्क्ड दिस क्वेरी लाइक इन डिफरेंट कंटेक्स्ट अर्लियर, सो आई रिमेंबर दैट
ओके
थिंग।
ओके, यस यस।
So, Shri, this
हाँ
point that you just mentioned, this would be applicable across your site, right? For 327. Like
यस यस,
for example, Ankit and I at times refer to COI, right?
या
So when we are looking at COI, we will basically see where the trend is changing, whether puts are suddenly unwinding or whether, calls are getting added or whatever, basis the trend wise.
Yes.
From a BTST standpoint, let's say if somebody was asking. So even if I was looking at that data at 330, that data of COI is only till 327, right?
I mean, NSE sends us data with a 330 timestamp. But what happens is, OI data gets computed internally at NSE itself in a delayed fashion. So at
Acha.
330, the data is there, but it's the final data is not there, because still positions pending, closed positions are there that have not been included in this data. Because
Got it.
Finally, last few minutes, lots and lots of positions get closed. So that
Yeah.
data has to be computed later and then applied. That's
Got
has
it.
to be said.
Got it. Thanks, Shri.
Okay.
So Shrikant, if you leave the last 3 minutes, so which means that if I take 15 minutes or probably even 30 minutes, so which shows me short covering if I take 30 minutes, let's say. So will that be a reasonable time frame for picking up for BTST?
Another issue, why I'm hesitant to tell you that is because if you see, what is going to happen is, see what happens, final last, say half an hour or so, or maybe last at least 15-20 minutes or so, this data that you see is just closing of positions. So I don't know how reliable this data is in terms of deciding positions for the next day. If you see both sides, you will see unwinding last 15 minutes or so. So this could just be to closing of intraday positions. I don't know if, I mean, overall, if you see overall, what is happening is it is saying that it is more or less bullish. here it is showing more or less bullish, because even though unwinding is there on both sides, it says that more unwinding is happening on the call side. So it is bullish, except this. So if you see, if you take from 315 onwards, so overall it is bullish. So this, maybe this is relevant, but you'll have to take a look. But if you see, just see this, then both sides unwinding is happening. So I don't know what kind of weightage one can give to this data, but maybe this still carries some weight. So that has to be checked. I'll have to check, because again, the one factor is there that the last 3 minutes data is not there in this. So that is one factor. Second factor is the unwinding here, but then I think this may carry some weight, but this has to check. You will have to check this looking at historical data and try and correlate what happens the next day.
Sure.
So typically, Shri, what we do is like I personally, as Amish also mentioned, if you go to the options UI tool, options, yeah, cumulative OI change.
Okay.
So same thing which you are explaining now, like a lot of unwinding. So if you look at the graph, okay, both call and puts towards the after 3 p.m. they're always downside. There is no significant addition which is being visible. So people are actually squaring off everything. So, but there have been like a particular incident which I always keep on referring, which is when our market opened 500 points gap down after the Ukraine war. So if you go to the
24th
historical, so if you go to the historical data, 24th Feb expiry, just look at that particular day's data. That will give you a very interesting observation.
And on which
and
day?
That's same just before the expiry, because
23rd.
23rd. Look at the 23rd data. So if you look at this in the last this one, okay, last 30 minutes, generally you will see the trend is always for both this thing, it is slope downside.
Down.
But people were writing aggressively after the 3 p.m. a lot of calls, because they knew about something is going to happen. The war was going to announce, which was announced after our markets were closed, and next day market opened 2% or 3% gap down, and then that was a horrible day, everyone knows. Okay, so they made a huge amount of money who knew about it, and this tool was useful at that point of day.
Oh, very good point, actually. Very good point. Yeah.
So that's how BTSTs have been somehow have tracked using this tool.
Okay.
If there is any very large difference which is visible clearly, then I've seen certainly market opening gap up or gap down using this thing. So ultimately it's what you are also showing in that same tool, a different tool, but from this graphical point of view, it is very clearly visible.
Yeah, let me just quickly check here also, and just to see, just where was that? 24th Feb.
Yeah, and a day before.
Yeah.
Even this shows the same thing if you put down at the bottom on the chart.
Yeah. Oh, here it was actually very clear that lot of build-up was going on the call side. And
so generally you will not see this kind of build-up during the last 15-20 minutes.
Yes.
People will be squaring off. So big players knew about this thing, that there is a war which is going to be announced. So if you look at the news timing, it was after the market hours, which came.
Yes. Very good point. Thanks a lot. Very good point.
And Shri, the cumulative chart is there, right?
Yeah.
There we have the price along with price with the candlestick. If you go with the candlestick, can you try to add indicators also like RSI, so it is easy for us to trade in case of any divergence or anything?
This can be done. Actually, this particular charting API has a way to add indicators, but we'll have to see. We didn't want to complicate this because this is basically the focus here is on these lines and not on the chart itself. So we didn't want to complicate it, but let me see, because
I think what he's asking is available into the total PEC. I think you can use that one.
No, no, it is not available here. Same. He's talking about indicators, adding
Oh,
indicators
okay,
here.
okay, okay.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
on
yeah,
this
So
chart.
I'm talking about indicator for price action.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it can be added to this particular tool actually, but
So if
it's
we
just
have
that.
that, we don't need to look for any other chart. Even at trading view also because here we have to check the trend of the open interest, and again we have to go price action.
Yeah.
Kind of.
We have frankly, the reason why we avoided this was because what happens is any different charting tool you add and different like the API software itself is different. The indicators can be slightly different. So we'll get all sorts of questions that there is this, the values are inconsistent and that kind of stuff, because then it will not match with our futures chart or then a trading view chart and that kind of thing. So that's the reason, only reason we have avoided. But let me try and see experimental. We'll just put it here and see how it looks.
And Shri, just to answer Sudhir's question also from my perspective, I think RSI anyways follows the price, right? It's not like it's a future trending move, right? Divergence will be formed, let's say after 15 minutes, you'll get to know that price has moved up, but RSI hasn't moved up, right? Because it is dependent on price. So I think I mean, I understand where Sudhir is coming from. A lot of people rely on RSI. But even if you just know the RSI count, right, you know what is the momentum like. If it is above 60 on an intraday basis also, you know the momentum is on the upside only unless it suddenly drastically drops. So I mean, so that would be the point, because RSI, I feel personally, follows price.
Yeah, very yes, sir.
Yeah, maybe you're right. You're right.
Okay.
But so double confirmation will get something. Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see. I mean, we can. It can be easily enabled because it's just another button. We just have to enable it. It's. Let me see how easy it is and if it will be useful if we do that. We'll definitely look into it. Okay. Let me quickly go through the questions once. Just a minute. So one more question related to. Yeah, somebody, Som had asked about IVR-IVP interpretation. Let me quickly go there. So IVR-IVP. See, basically, IVR-IVP, they tell you how the current IV is placed with respect to 1 year's range, 1 year's IV range. The IVR tells you in this 1 year range where exactly this is. So 36% means this is 36% of this range. So whenever it is less than say 40% or so, it is low. And IVP tells you how much percentage of values are below the current IV. IVP tells you in the last 1 year how much percentage of values are below the current IV. So this 2% here means in last 1 year's IV range, only 2% of the time IV was below 23. This means this is extremely low. Only 2% of the time it went below 23. So any IVP that is less than say 40, 30 or so is significant. If you see now, for example, this is 0. Nifty Bank Nifty is 0 because currently the IVs that you are looking at are at the lowest point of 1 year range. So this is extremely low IVs basically. So this is what these two figures tell you. IVP, for some reason, for my preferences, is towards IVP. I'm a little bit partial towards IVP. I prefer IVP. IV range, what happens is sometimes when there is a big spike, then this will get distorted for a while because the spike has to go out of this range. Until that time, then the IVR will not show you correctly. So IVP will still keep showing you correctly. Try and keep an eye on both. And if there is a big spike in the 1 year range, then avoid IVR for that particular script. Otherwise, it should be fine, anything that you use. And once you have IVP, if it is very low, historically low levels at 10, 20 or so, then you can definitely, go for debit strategies positionally. So debit spreads and all. You can go for calendars, diagonal spreads, all those. All debit strategies you can go when IVP is low or IVR is low. And if it is more than say 60, 70 or so, so even 50, 60, 70 or more than that, then a credit-based strategy is a lot more better. Option selling kind of strategies, you go for straddle strangles or butterfly and fly. All those where you rely on time decay so that would be preferable when IVR-IVP is high, really high. So above, it should be, IVP should be above 50, 60% or so. IVR also above 40, 50, more than 50, 60 or so. That is better. So that's it about IVR-IVP. That's only basically, mainly it's for deciding the strategy, basically, what kind of strategy you want to use for a particular script. That is what this tells you.
On the like a couple of previous discussions, Shrikant, we had about the OI stats and the straddle charts, and straddle strangle charts, being moved to the TradingView platform, and we're also about to overhaul the OI stats tool. So is there any like timelines and updates like when they are coming up?
Yeah, OI stats should be available in the coming week.
Okay.
And straddle strangle charts, they are taking some time because of the complication, because we are doing this. This is going to be a really custom addition into TradingView, because it is not a standard chart. So we are facing few issues. A couple of developers are really working hard trying to add straddle strangle charts and all option strategy charts. So we'll try and see how soon we can get those. But yes, work is going on. There are 2 dedicated developers are working on that. So we'll try and get it out soon. The OI stat should be coming very, very soon.
Okay. So will we get the like some sort of another webinar at least for that? What are the changes in that OI stats?
Yes, absolutely. Yes, we'll definitely go over that in detail. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Now let me other questions. Let me go through that. What other questions are there?
Sir, hello.
हाँ बोलिए.
सर कोई ओपन इंटरेस्ट का ग्राफ ड्यूरिंग इंटरडे में है जो बिल्डअप होते हैं जो हम ट्राई कर सके?
हाँ, ये ओपन इंटरेस्ट का तो ये मल्टी स्ट्राइक ओआई जो है, आप ये देख सकते हैं इसमें. ये इसमें जो है आप चाहे तो कोई भी सिलेक्टेड स्ट्राइक्स का ये ओपन इंटरेस्ट है. यहाँ पे ओपन इंटरेस्ट जब आप सेलेक्ट करेंगे, ये पूरे ओपन इंटरेस्ट
मतलब जिसमें हमें ये पता चले कि यहाँ लॉन्ग बिल्डअप हो रहा है ग्राफ देखे, यहाँ जैसे सेंसिबल के अंदर है सर,
लॉन्ग बिल्डअप हो रहा है किसमें, मतलब समझा नहीं. ये जब आप फॉर एग्जांपल यहाँ पे आके आप ट्रेंडिंग स्ट्राइक सेलेक्ट कीजिए, ट्रेंडिंग स्ट्राइक्स, तो ये आपको वही दिखाएगा कि कहाँ पे.
ओवरऑल ओपन इंटरेस्ट की बात कर रहा हूँ सर, ओवरऑल ओपन इंटरेस्ट कि किस स्ट्राइक प्राइस पे कितने बिल्डअप हो रहा है, उसका ग्राफिकल प्रेजेंटेशन सर.
एक मिनट, ये मेरे ख्याल से यहाँ पे अवेलेबल पूरे के सारे स्ट्राइक्स मिला के बोल रहे हैं.
हाँ जी सर.
तो ये क्यूमुलेटिव ओआई चेंज में आप ये ओआई बटन सेलेक्ट कीजिए. ये जो दिखाता है ना पूरा, ये ओआई है, पूरा का पूरा टोटल ओआई है ये.
ओके सर.
इस एक्सपायरी का, लेकिन एक ही एक्सपायरी. कंबाइंड चाहिए तो आपको कंबाइंड, तो ये दिखाएगा आपको कहाँ पे. और ये आपको ओआई चेंज देखना है तो ये फिर यहाँ पे ये ओआई चेंज बटन क्लिक करेंगे तो ये ओआई चेंज है.
ओके सर
जी. ओके. Which tool somebody is asking? 1 minute. Okay, let me just go through the questions because lots of questions are there, and I'll just go through. Okay, IVR, IVP I've done, IV skew I've done. How to use token? See, Pradeep asked about total PECOI for options buying. See, actually, I have put a detailed video. I think I can't, if I explain again, then it's going to be same. So just kindly go through the previous video that I have uploaded, which is specific to total PEC UI. Then if you have any questions, if you have any doubts, you can directly contact me on Telegram. I'll give you examples. I'll explain to you again. But again, repeating it here may not be meaningful. So I'll just, for another tool, let me see. Screen voice snapshot. Okay, voice snap. Okay, is it possible to have two option button where one of the option button will display strike Y as it is being displayed at present and another option included? I didn't understand a bit. Nagaraj, what was your question? Can you explain a little bit more? Interpretation. One person has asked about interpretation of straddle chart. Okay, let me quickly go through that. Straddle charts. See, straddle charts, you will have to plot a trend-based indicator. You'll have to, based on whatever your time frame is, if you are trading positionally, few people use even 5 minutes for positional because they want faster signals. But the basic idea is here I've plotted Keltner channel, which is my favorite indicator for option strategy charts. The idea here, and this shows you the straddle premium basically. And when you are short the straddle, you want the straddle premium to keep on going down, basically decaying. So the idea is to plot a trend indicator and then just see if and make sure that the price is going down. If price is not going down, it is going up, it means that there's a volatile move coming or the delta based move coming. So you would have to either get out of the position or you have to make the adjustments. So this example is Keltner channel plotted on a 5-minute chart on this straddle. Basically, you can short somewhere over here, and as long as the price does not break above this channel, then you are fine. So because it's going on decay. So once it goes above, so something like this, once it goes above here, then you need to adjust. You need to check on the futures chart or a spot chart where price is going, and then you would have to adjust these strikes, take this up, down, or whatever, and then your idea would be to again adjust such a way that the price comes back down here again. So let me see if I can give some example over here.
Can you quickly just show this on the same 15-minute and 75-minute chart, how the view is?
Yeah, 42.5. But 75 minutes, what is 15 minutes? I can show. Okay,
no, that's fine, even in 15 minutes. So it did try to cross, but it then came back.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay,
Again, now
thank you so much.
Yeah, you can have your own indicators if you want to keep a little bit more buffer. There are people who use VWAP, they use RSI and all that. So
correct.
RSI also can be used. And only if RSI really starts shooting up, then you would try and adjust, or few others have a moving average also, say exponential moving average, for example, maybe have 50 or even say 200 also. Somehow you need to try and see if you can somehow reduce these points. And even if it breaks above this, you need to have some kind of a adjustment strategy. You adjust your strikes a little bit and try and get this down over here, and then readjust when it keeps going back or decaying. So it all you can decide based on whatever indicators you want. So that's the idea. Okay, whoever had a question about straddle, is this clear? Any more explanation you want? More detailed explanation can be there, but Say, suppose you are trading using a 1 minute chart and you are over here and you shorted it somewhere right in the morning, 9:17 over here. So you would have to adjust over here at 10:50 or so. When let me see what price has done at that point. Just a minute. Let me quickly go to Bank Nifty here. Kindly mute yourself, please. Here at 10:50, price was just falling like anything. It was going down. So what you would have to do is downside, you have to adjust here. So either you take this down or you bring this down or you change this to 2 lots. You do whatever you have to do to make it this way. To make it this way, you again have to get this down below here. So then you can continue with your trade. So basically I've shorted one extra here. So you have kept the same, you have not changed any of the strikes, you have just shorted one extra. So you can continue, you get the decay over here at this point. It is just around 3 o'clock. This point you might want to just exit instead of adjusting. No point adjusting at this so late. So you can just exit here. So this is the whole idea. Basically, you plot a trending indicator and then try and make sure that the price is going down. If the price is going against you, then you adjust. You adjust either the strikes here or then you adjust your lots by the call or put. And then the aim would be to get this below the channel over here, or if you're using moving average or VWAP, then below your moving average and VWAP, basically. Okay, that was about straddle charts. What other questions are there? Let me quickly check. Which tool to focus for option sellers? Mr. Haridas, Anandrao, see, option sellers, basically, all these ideas are about determining which side the market is going. So once you know which side the market is going, then you can either sell or you can buy. It all depends on how you want to trade it. So nothing, no specific tools are there. Like you saw straddle charts, which that we just discussed, and those are specifically the trade was towards selling straddles. It will be the same for strangles. And then there is total PCOI is there, where I've discussed this in other videos. Again, the idea is to identify which side the market is going, which side the buildup is happening and all that. So based on that, you would position yourselves. So again, positioning is you can sell, you can buy, you can do whatever the way you trade. So there's nothing specific as such for selling or buying. It's for, you can do whatever you want. Nagaraj was saying, I'm referring to multi-strike voice charts where we can have cumulative calls, put options. Yeah, let me see. Nagaraj, let me, I have saved that. I need to discuss it with my team. I'll get back to you directly. I'll do that. Okay. Okay, that's it. Any other questions? I mean, I've covered everything that was there in chat. So if you have any questions about any specific tools I can take. Yeah, Manoj is asking how to trade through IVR-IVP Scan. We already discussed that. I mean, there is, no, you can't trade. I mean, as I said, this is basically for selecting scripts where IV is low or high. So it's basically for that. There is no, I mean, you, for stock directly trading a script itself, FOI scan that we had discussed is a lot better for you to select for intraday trading. So even for positional trading, Daywise is better. That also we had discussed. I mean, this is not directly for, I mean, you can't get any kind of signals here for trading intraday or positionals or whatever. It's basically for seeing, you can sort this and see which stocks have low IVs and which stocks have higher IVs. So now see, these are IVs. So you higher IVs, IVP is very high. So IVs are higher on the higher side. So you would look to sell options in these. I mean, it doesn't say that selling means it is bearish. It could be either bearish or it could be bullish. So this just says that the options are a little bit higher price, so you can probably look for credit-based strategies. So because there is a chance that you will get decay in these options. So it tells you that. So this is for selection of scripts for either buying strategies or selling strategies, but not for trading bullish or bearish in futures as such. Okay.
So for example, over here, the India cement is, having a very high IVP. And let's say if we have a view looking at the, let's say, futures data, for example, India cement is, let's say, looking bearish. So instead of going for a debit put spread or something like that, it would be better to go with the credit call spread, right?
Very true. Exactly. That's the whole idea. Correct.
Okay, because even the puts will decay much, even if we have, let's say, debit spread, or even a naked put will decay much, even if the stock is going down.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Okay, some more questions were there here. How to identify shifting of OI from one strike to another? Abhishek ji, what you'll have to do is you'll have to track options OI breakup and select, if you're trading any strikes here, then you need to select those strikes over here. That is one way of doing it. Here itself, you will know that whether OI is going out from here. That is one way if you have strikes already in mind. The other way is to go to total PECOI, where you can select a set of scripts. You can go select strikes and then you select few scripts here, and then you will know overall in the call side and put side if the OI is going out here. So from here you will know that. So these are the two ways. If you have single strikes, then you can go for OI breakup and separate. If you have set of strikes, if you want to go either near ATM strikes or selected strikes, then you can go for total PECOI. Just one point here. Here we may be making another change here, significant change here in this tool by giving you separate call and put strikes. So because some people want to select strikes that are above, call strikes above ATM and put strikes below ATM. So something like that is not possible here, because once you select a strike here, it selects both call and put. So different call and put strikes here. So that flexibility, we may be adding it in the next update. So that might take a little bit time, but we'll be adding that in the near future. Vinod was asking about any plans of getting commodity segment. No immediate. There are no immediate plans, because see, the data feed cost is going to be same for commodity, and not enough commodity subscribers are going to be there because the interest is not that much, and only very few commodities are liquid. That is another issue. Which is the reason why not too many people are there compared to equity FNO. That is the issue. But we'll see. I mean, at least as of now, there is no immediate plan to add commodity. Okay, so that's it. Any other questions, or Sachin is asking about multi-layout option. Is it about multiple pages on the same screen? Is it what it is? Sachin, basically, currently, I mean, we have not provided it as such. You will have to use Vivaldi browser for that, and I think that would be the best way to do it right now, because we providing it will be a little bit tricky because our tools have lot of, they require a lot of space, and then trying to display less data in a part of a screen, a lot of data in part of screen is going to be tricky. So, but what you can do is with Vivaldi browser, you can tile. Let me show it here itself. Let me quickly do that. How many I have? 1, 2, 3, 4. Just let me close this. Okay. Now in Vivaldi browser, see, these are 4 tabs are open over here. So you can right click on one tab here and say stack tabs by host, either this or this option. So this has got stacked here. Right click on this stack and say tile tab stack. So that's it. It has tiled it. So this way, and then once you have this here, if you're not able to see this, you just click on this and then you can zoom. You can change the zoom here. So, and you can change your view here. So this way you can track multiple windows over here, multiple tools over here. So it is a lot more easier if you do it this way. We providing it within the website is going to be a little bit tricky. It will be difficult as of now, may not be possible. Okay, let me unstack these. Once you want to go back, then you just untile and then unstack. That's it. You have to go to Control-Z. That's it. Okay, another question by Vinay. Is there a way we can make a view for the day in the first 15 minutes? I know you mentioned that once, but maybe some other. Yeah, the way to form the view, the first thing is using total PCOI. Use the initial what is happening, initially whatever is happening. Based on that, you can form a view. Leave for the first few minutes, just leave it, and then you can go with it initially. After that, then based on whatever unwinding is happening, I had explained this in the video in detail. Let me change this to 1 minute chart. See, once you initially form the view over here based on whatever OI diff is telling you. After that, you can look for the buildup and unwinding that is happening. And then look for supports that I had explained this in detail. Once support forms, after that, initially first, as your question was about first 15 minutes. First 15 minutes is basically best done using this diff of OI change over here. This will tell you which side, because this was a gap up. So initially it was positive, but just wait for a couple of 1 or 2 updates here over here. Once these few updates are done, you will get a good idea. After that, you will have to plot these support lines and all that, and then see which side the buildup is happening. And so if you see here, after that, the buildup started happening over here. Once over here, price started coming to these lows, the buildup happened here. So it was indicating bearish over here. Whereas put also unwinding did not happen, but put buildup was not there over here. And then this little move up was there. Both were absent, but significant buildup was there over here. Once this actually breaks over here, that is a point to look at. And here, if you see, only buildup is there. For call side, buildup is there. Put side, buildup is not there. Unwinding started over here. If you see over here at that point, just after the breakout. So once after a few minutes, once you have taken your view based on this and you have taken up a position, further analysis is best done using something like this. Closely watch which side the buildup is happening versus which side the unwinding is happening, and that too at key points, sub key levels. the current day's low or whether subsequent where the low has held, and if it is trying to break those levels, once that level is done, then basically all smaller levels you can, large or small, you can mark these and then wait and see what happens once price goes back over here. So you will see significant clues here based on whatever unwinding and buildup is there. So you can, your future after the initial view is formed, future analysis you can do based on this unwinding that happens at key levels. So that's about just a quick summary, but I've explained this in detail in the video. You can take a look at it. Any specific questions about any tool? Anything you want me to go through?
श्रीकांत सर नमस्कार।
नमस्कार, टेल मी सर, बोलिए।
सर वो अभी कुछ देर पहले हम लोग बीटीएसटी का आइडिया ट्राई कर रहे थे ना।
हाँ।
तो बीटीएसटी में मैं कैसे करता हूँ, मेरा एक्सपीरियंस है सर 1 साल का
जी।
तो लास्ट 30 मिनट का सर हम लोग अनवाइंडिंग देखता है।
ओके।
जिस साइड में अनवाइंडिंग ज़्यादा होगा उसके अपोजिट साइड में मार्केट नेक्स्ट डे की फर्स्ट मूव मिलेगी हमको सर। पॉसिबल हमको सर हमारी डायरेक्शन में मिल सकता है, अगर नहीं पॉसिबल, अगर किसी कारणवश अगर सर अपोजिट डायरेक्शन में खुल गया तो वो बाद में सर उसको कवर करेगा।
ओके।
मैं ऐसे पकड़ता हूँ सर बीटीएसटी का और डे की फर्स्ट मूव पिछले दिन के डाटा से।
ओके।
पिछले दिन के लास्ट 30 मिनट के ओनली डाटा से।
ओके, बस वही डिस्कस कर रहे थे हम लोग भी। हाँ, लेकिन हम लोग जो बोल रहे थे कि यहाँ पे अगर पॉजिटिव है तो वो पॉजिटिव रहेगा, तो आप उल्टा लेते हैं उसका,
यस
रिवर्स लेते हैं। ओके।
जैसे सर हमारी कॉल अनवाइंडिंग अगर बहुत ज़्यादा हो रही है और पुट वाले निकल रहे हैं बट उससे कम है, तो मैं क्या एज्यूम करता हूँ कि सर ये जो है ना रिटेल ट्रेडर निकल रहे हैं और बड़ी मनी जो है वो अभी तक होल्ड है।
ओके। ओके।
और नेक्स्ट डे वो लोग उस पर बाउंस कर देते हैं, मतलब वो उसी डायरेक्शन में उसको ले जाते हैं।
ओके, ठीक है सर।
और अगर कुछ भी सर जैसे मान लीजिए अगर हमने गैप अप कॉल, हम अगर कॉल बाई करके गए और अगर बाई चांस मार्केट गैप डाउन हो जाता है तो फर्स्ट 5 मिनट के कैंडल का लो ब्रीच नहीं होता है सर 70-80%।
आजकल बराबर है, आजकल बहुत टाइम से वैसे ही चल रहा है, मार्केट का ट्रेंड तो वैसे ही चल रहा है कि एक तरफ ओपन होता है, गैप ओपन होता है और दूसरी ऑपोजिट साइड जाता है। तो होते हैं सर मार्केट के जनरल रेजिम्स होते हैं, रेजिम्स कहते हैं उसको, कि कभी कभी मार्केट ऐसे ही चलते रहता है, गैप अप होता है और ऑपोजिट साइड जाता है, ऐसे चलता रहता है, फिर उसके बाद मार्केट का कैरेक्टर चेंज हो जाता है। तो अभी तो वैसे चल रहा है, तो देखना है कि वैसे ही चलेगा या नहीं।
Shrikant, on this aspect, because you have been in this market and working on this specifically this tool as well, I have recently, मतलब मैं जब से use कर रहा हूँ मैं like a lot of people, were very bearish during September end or so. So I was observing few peculiar things using this iCharts only, and thanks to this, again, I was able to form a very good view. I was able to ride this again bullish journey. So during September end, when there was a fall again, from 18,000 or so, and similarly in the bank Nifty as well, I had noticed that a lot of put writing were happening at 43K, specifically in the October strike, and then again, people were shorting 43K PE in November as well, when the price was at around 4,000, 5,000 plus level. If you can check that historical, this thing stats in the OI stats tool as well.
Sure.
So if you go through it now as well, I am seeing, like, I don't know whether have you noticed or not on the monthly, this one December strike and January strike, a lot of 19,000 and 20,000 PE has been, also being shorted.
Okay.
So people, I mean, deep ITM puts generally, it will be a smart money entry only, I would assume. Of course, they will have some hedges and all. So if you see the change as well with the all strike. So look at the positioning. Have you ever noticed in any of the market regime, ever such kind of a data points earlier? I don't know. What is?
I probably not observed it so closely.
And one more thing, Sridhar. So Ankit was looking at the data as well in terms of how copy and all, I'm assuming. So on Friday, right? Friday or Thursday, and Ankit, correct me. We noticed somebody shorted 3,200 contracts at 19K P. Right?
Yeah, exactly. When the market was falling,
that's almost 42 crores, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So somebody is not going to, I mean, be crazy to short that and invest 42 crores when market was falling on Friday.
Yeah.
That too, when the market break basically 1880 level. Okay, and then it trapped the sort of created a bear trap that it is going to fill the entire gap, and then it made a double top, double bottom, and sort of a recovered intraday. At that time only, when it went into this gap. Okay, at that time there was this shorting started on 19kb, and I noticed it, and I was sitting sideline in the market. I updated my my friend that just don't go and start buying puts because there is going to be 200 points of fall. So that is that something which have you noticed earlier in your previous regime, or such kind of data points earlier? I don't know.
I don't remember. I mean, there are quite a few anomalies that I have looked at, but I mean, I have not thought too much about it. I mean, the way you're looking at, I'm sure you have been trading so deeply, so you're deeply into this data. I've looked at mostly from tool perspective and how the data is changing and what to display and how to design the tools. So for trading itself, my trading is very different. So I don't look so deeply, but I'm sure this. I have seen such things, but I have not researched into it too deeply. That I can say. I mean, I've seen such things happening from time to time, definitely, and these definitely do point to something that is going to happen. But yeah, so something systematic we have definitely not done based on this. Would be interesting actually. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, when you overhaul this OI stats tool, I mean, if you look at this, I mean, this is what I have been asking you earlier as well, like where the deep ITM options are being, getting shorted by smart money. That is something which we want to sort of identify as a signal instead of, going through each and every script. If you can look at that, opportunity as well while you are overhauling, maybe it will help.
Okay. I'll take a look. Sure. Okay.
If I can say something on this.
Yeah, sure.
This happens only, I did it day before yesterday to close my situation because I had a lot of money put options sold out. So I wanted to scare off the position. So I did deep in the money in the put side and the call side also. So I did not wanted to carry any long position for Monday. So we usually do like this. We took the premium of both sides. Deep in the money call side and the put side, so we are hedged. So there is no fallout on Monday.
Okay. Yeah, that's the other aspect of it. Very true.
Yeah.
Okay. Fine. Okay, so I think let us close here. So if there is nothing more, we'll come back to this again.